Hello, I'm Ross, and I'm going to show you how you can transform Markdown into JavaScript within a Vite plugin. So it'll be a quick overview of the transform hook and what it can do for you in your Vite projects. If you haven't created a plugin before, I've got an initial tutorial on that I'll link to here, and you can also check out this blog post, which I'll link to this blog post in the description as well. So first we're going to install Marked as a dependency. This is a great package for converting Markdown into HTML, so I'll do that now. Next, we're going to use Rollup's transform hook within our plugin. This allows us to import files that are not JavaScript by first compiling them into JavaScript within the plugin. So lots of frameworks make use of this hook if they use custom file types. For example, Svelte, in their Vite plugin Svelte package, uses this hook, and it converts .svelte files into .javascript files using the Svelte compiler. So we'll follow the example from the Vite documentation and create our Markdown plugin. So we're going to create a new plugin called Markdown that converts .md files that it finds to JavaScript by adding it to our plugins array. So we'll go back into our Vite config, and you can make these plugins outside of your Vite config if you want, but we're just keeping things simple and inlining them into our config now. So I'll make a new plugin called Markdown, and it's going to use the transform hook. And this transform hook will give us our code, which is just a string of the code that we're importing, and then also the ID, which will be the file name. So first we need to test the ID to make sure that it's a Markdown file. So we're going to use this regular expression to test and see if it ends with .md. So we're going to say if the ID ends with Markdown, we're going to process it. And what we're going to do first is we're going to get our HTML, and we're going to await parse, and we're going to import that from marked, and we're going to parse the code. So what this will do is we'll take our Markdown code, so this will be our Markdown file, and it will transform it and parse it into HTML. And then all we have to do next is return, and we can return the .js file. And what's this going to look like? We have to make it into an actual JavaScript file. So we're going to export a few things. First, we're going to export the HTML, and then second, we're going to export the Markdown. So it has to be transformed into an actual JavaScript file. And then if you have a source map, you can also return it here. We don't, so we're just going to return null for the map. Alright, so that should be enough to get us going. Next, since I'm using TypeScript, I need to also tell the TypeScript language server that Markdown files can now be imported. Since all files within source are included in our tsconfig, we can add a .d.ts declaration file anywhere inside source to declare Markdown files as modules. So let's go ahead and add this. We can just put it in source/types. And we'll just call it md.d.ts. And this will say for all Markdown files, they're going to export a HTML string and a Markdown string from them. So that'll tell TypeScript what we're doing. Next, we'll test out the plugin. We'll need to create a Markdown file, so let's do that real quick. And we'll just call it post. And we'll test out the functionality within our client-side JavaScript. So we'll import a string of HTML, and you can see because of our d.ts file, we're getting the correct type for that. And we're importing directly from a Markdown file instead of from a JavaScript file now. And then we're just going to insert it into the body after the beginning. So let's run npm run dev, and we can see if that's working. and we have our Markdown file. And you can see it's part of our module graph. So if you go in and edit the Markdown file and save, then it'll automatically be updated. It's important to note this transformation occurs at build time. So if we run npm run build, and then we can navigate to this file right here, our JS file, you can see that we're not importing the Markdown file at runtime. This is all happening at build time. So this is a very powerful feature that allows you to do transformations ahead of time and save your users time, because they won't be having to do those transformations on the client. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of this video. Have a great day.